Hey, everybody. Welcome back to our next vlog. We're really excited you were able to join us again today. We're still here at the 100 West studio. And we're want to thank Mr. Sean and 100 West Photography. And
super thankful to feel so fancy.
oh, absolutely. It's, I mean, I know you can tell the difference between,
This beats our kitchen table.
Well, kitchen table, and then we had the front porch. And, I mean, it was... it was not the best in the world. So major step up for us. So we're really excited about it. But remember to always like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. If you have a comment on what we've talked about today, please make sure that you're leaving us some feedback. I mean, we'd love to hear from you, get your opinions on it, and we'll talk back and forth, comment back and forth. We'd love to hear from you. So like and subscribe, be part of our channel, and today we're going to, I'll just hand it over to Rach and she can tell you what we're talking about today.
So today we're going to talk about the character Papa Joe, who Mrs. Squeever and Berl meet in the restaurant when they go to get the special that she had heard about. And so we meet Papa Joe there. So do we want to talk about who the character is inspired by just a little bit?
We can. It's this crazy dude that we've got in our life now. We've met so many people like Papa Joe. We've been so blessed to meet people like that. But in general, if you've ever met Devin Pickard, Devin is our preacher and owner of Papa K. Joe's, some fantastic barbecue in the Hemming County area. So
free plug, Devin.
Yeah, free plug. I think it was even on an episode of Manfire, whatever that show's called. And it's really good barbecue. But Devin is, and like I said, there's so many others that are like him that are they just love people, and
they're easy to talk to.
Yeah, easy to talk to people, and they
kind of keep up with people in town. Like they've been there forever, right? They've lived their whole life there. Their family's deeply rooted there. They've, been at or attended several different churches. They've, went to school there, graduated there, so they kind of notice when somebody's new.
Right. And they're a staple of the community.
Right.
And they get joy out of bringing joy to others.
Right.
And Jesus, we really believe that Jesus really uses people like that to be able to spread his love throughout a community.
Well, and it worked because their first meeting with him, he says, "I don't believe I've met you."
No.
And so it shows you that those, he does recognize that they're new, and instead of just taking their order and going on back and letting them sit down, he takes that extra step to say, "I don't believe I've met you," and that changes their interaction there. So, do you want to build off that?
Yeah, I mean that you look at where they've come so far in the book, right? They've already met Officer Buck. This day has just, because of love and generosity of other people, this day has just took a different path and it's become a wonderful day. And so what a way to end it, right? They're going to get them something to eat, and they just see this character that,
doesn't really look like anybody.
Yeah, basketball shorts and a barbecue stained,
T-shirt.
Shirt
was greasy.
Song, isn't it?
Sure, it was greasy, smoke covered,
the ball cap on, but loving life and just being happy and showing and continuing that generosity and that love, and it's like a snowball, It just really it really ended the day well and just really made things better for them.
So one thing that we talk about in the book, or that you talk about in the book, is that he tried, waved at a few people, kind of got some smiles, some nods. So there's some people in the restaurant that weren't super friendly. And I feel like I specifically am probably more guilty of that, because I might see somebody and think like, I've never seen them before. But at the same time, I'm like a little bit of like a awkward and don't want to just go, "Hey, how are y'all? Y'all from around here?" Because I don't want to be one of those people that's like, "No, dummy, I've lived here my whole life." But I do think the significance that when I read that book, it hit me to go, maybe I need to be a little friendlier, like, "Hey, how are y'all doing?" as opposed to just like, an awkward smile or like not looking at them. But one of the reasons that people did that was because Berl and his mama don't exactly look the same, right?
Yeah, and we've there are a
We've
lot of
touched
people
on the
have asked
blended
me,
family
yeah,
thing.
and they are a blended family. If any of you caught the talk of the town,
Right.
we talked about it a little bit there with Mr. Leland. That you're going to find out more that, and you guys have seen pictures that dad is a beaver, mom is a squirrel, and Berl looks more like his dad, and so so I wanted it to be. You never say one specific reason
Right.
why the people are looking at them this way, because there are so many different reasons.
Right. Well, because they're also a little hillbilly, right? They're
Sure.
a little country,
Right, and
in the city,
and they're new.
Right, and they're new.
They're new, that nobody knows them. They do look a little bit odd. They're thinking, well, is this an adopted kid, or what's going on there? There's, and
Why
then
has he
there's
got on overalls?
right, and then there's, people can be coming from, the devil could be there talking to people, saying, trying to get them to not be friendly and everything else, and not show that love, because he don't want us to do that. But so there's that side of it, of people just being mean or being selfish, being human. And then there's the other side of it, of some of those people could have been Christians also. And because we've all been guilty of sitting there, the Spirit's telling us, hey, say hi, say,
Right.
be friendly, give a smile. But then we don't, because of selfish reasons. We don't want to, we're intimately
No,
eating,
we don't want to bother
we
them.
don't want to bother anybody. Or so there's when you read it, there's 1,000 different reasons
Right.
that they could have not been friendly to them or not smiled at them. You fill in the blank. I want the reader to use their imagination and whatever they draw from that.
It's also maybe where the Holy Spirit kind of, when you're reading that, the Holy Spirit kind of pokes you and says, that was you, remember?
Yeah.
Don't do that again.
Yeah. We
learn from that.
We want to cover the reasons.
Right.
So that's why it's,
Because I've been that person.
And the blended family part of that, it's going to get worse for them. It is.
And I've just been that because they're new and I'm awkward and I'm not like you. I don't just go shaking hands and kissing babies. That's not my personality.
Right. Well, and it's, but it means so much to somebody,
Right.
to be able to do that.
And I'm trying to do better
too.
because of Berl. I'm trying to do better.
That's what we're trying to accomplish. But we do, that's what we're trying to accomplish, is because we all fail miserably. None of us do. Even, you were talking about me always shaking hands and kissing babies. There's a lot of times I did not want to talk to people. I was peopled out. And the Spirit would tell me, somebody would come into a restaurant or into a store, and the Spirit would tell me, hey, say hi, smile, shake hands, something.
Well, I know you're tired, but do it anyways.
And I failed, and I didn't do it, because I was selfish at that moment, and walked out. So that's why I left it vague, because there's so many different reasons that these people could be in friendly.
It's just a missed opportunity.
It's just a missed opportunity. But we also put in it that Papa Joe, we planted him, boom, right in the middle of that environment, because here's this person that is following Jesus and being friendly. And
so that was kind of the next thing on my list, is he actually doesn't just serve them food, though. In the book, he takes the time to sit down and learn a little bit about him. Not long, right? He doesn't take long. He just learns a little bit about them. And in that moment of learning a little bit more about them, he takes the opportunity to do what?
Invite them to church.
Invite them to church. And I think sometimes maybe that's the God nudge, is not just the getting to know them, but hey, say something, open a door so that you can do what? Invite them to church, right?
And one of the truest,
get to know them better.
One of the truest statements I've ever heard is you have no idea what that person is going through in their life, right? We all know that every single one of us is a broken shell of a human. We all are. We're broken people, and we're imperfect. We're very fallible. And as such, we need Jesus to be able to be made whole. That's the whole point in following Jesus, is to be able to find that hope and that peace and that joy and the gift of eternal life. Is if we don't have that, we're always us as humans are constantly seeking for something to fill that void. That void is there,
right?
And if you fill it with Jesus, that's what fulfills it. But if you don't, then you're going to hunger for something, and a lot of times people go the wrong direction with that. So,
and in that moment, he got to know him, and they felt that love of Jesus. Even before the invitation to church, they felt that love of, man, he's taking a minute, just a couple minutes to get to know us, to he recognizes that we are new to town, and it doesn't bother him because he's loving us anyways.
Right. And in that moment, we go back to, we all know as Christians, we know that everybody needs Jesus, right? So there's so many times that the Holy Spirit will nudge you toward invite them to church because, or tell them about Jesus or something.
But you're not going to get anywhere
gospel.
if you haven't already taken the time
Right.
to love on them.
So if we don't do anything, then we've missed that opportunity. That person could have needed something at that moment to be able to walk the path to build a relationship with Jesus, and we missed that opportunity. And we don't want to do that.
Right.
We still do it every day that we'll do it. I mean, I feel miserably every day as well. But if we can do what Papa Joe did and say, hey, let's just be friendly. Let's just talk to them. Let's
take 2 minutes to make them feel
take 2
loved.
seconds, to spread the love of Jesus, and then invite them to church. Because what he did was he opened that, he broke the ice, he broke that relationship open. Of they knew really quickly that, hey, this is somebody that is friendly and he's nice, and,
right.
and so
they felt comfortable.
They lowered their guard, and he was able to then invite them to church, and then you'll see that in the future that's what'll happen. I can't go any further than that one. But
so we talk real specific in the book that Papa Joe says something real particular, and he says, that's my car alarm.
So that was a little crazy. We had a nice little lightning bolt and some thunder, and we had a vehicle alarm go off. So got a little storm going through. So,
but we're back.
And we're back. Yeah, we had to stop for just a second. So go back to what you were talking about on the.
So I was just going to say that Papa Joe says something very specific. So Berl asked him, after the invitation to church, Berl says, can I invite my new friend Wade? And Papa Joe's response was,
everyone is welcome.
Everyone is welcome.
Yeah, and that's, we forget as Christians, this is one of the...
So is Wade's life together maybe?
Right, no.
Right.
And now Papa Joe probably knows who Wade is. Of course,
yeah.
Right, because like we said, it's as well as people. But...
he's been there forever. Everybody knows who Wade is.
That's one of the hardest things that Christians... That's one of the biggest reasons that Christians have turned people off of Christianity, is because there's been this thought process that you have to be fixed, that you have to be right before you come to church. And that's not, you come to church to find Jesus and to find the right path, to get fixed, quote unquote, lack of a better term. And so when he said everyone's welcome,
to feel whole.
Yeah, to say everyone's welcome, if you can't, I don't care what you think you've done in your life, in your past, what you are doing now, it does not matter. Everyone is welcome. Jesus did not just go around to the synagogues and to try to tell people the good news. He went everywhere.
Pretty much the opposite.
Right. And so our job as Christians is to bring more people into the fold, to help them. We want to tell them good news so that we can expand Christ's kingdom. And it doesn't matter where they come from, because we all recognize that we're broken, we all sin, and we all need Jesus. And we're just saying, hey, jump on this boat with us, because we all need Jesus, and we all need to be together because we're trying to make it to his kingdom.
Right. We all need encouragement. We all
Right.
need to learn. We all need to read. We all need to pray.
So that's what was so important about the everyone is welcome, because legit, if there's any place in the world where everyone is seriously welcome,
it's at
in
Hope
the
Church.
house of God. Oh, well, yeah. Hope Church for us.
Shameless plug again.
Here locally. Yeah, here locally. But that's what we want in all of this. We hope that everyone has a Hope Church or church like that in their communities. We want people to go out and find those churches where that is the foundation, is that everyone is welcome.
Where the sinners and the saints are welcome.
Correct. Where it's not a country club for the saints, it's a hospital for the sinners. I'll steal that from my preacher.
Actually, he stole that from Facebook.
Yeah, I think he stole it from. But yeah, either way, we're all thieves. See, but that's what we want, is we want people to find Jesus and build their walk with Jesus. So in order to do that, they have to understand first that everyone is welcome and they can make it to the church. So
I can tell that Jim's really passionate about that, because he's talking really fast as he's doing
I'll
it.
slow down, but I can't help it.
But when Berl and his mama leave the restaurant that day and they're going home, they thank God for the people that they met that day. So she thanks God for the people that were put in their path that day. So Officer Buck, Wade, and Papa Joe, because those three people helped them they loved like Jesus did, right? And the Squeevers reciprocated that love to those people. They were kind, right? They were, making friends with Wade. They talked. They weren't too shy to talk to Papa Joe, but they left and thanked God for those relationships that they made that day, because they went from a very sad morning to a very happy evening with something to look forward to, which was the going to church and inviting the new friend that he just made.
Right, and that is why we're going into, and I don't mind talking about it now because it's a good segue. Why we're going into the Be Like Berl podcast,
right?
Is because literally this book went from, and we said it in the last vlog, that it started out with him being sad, him being upset. He's dealing with a move,
right,
which is very traumatic for a lot of kids. And hopefully in the future we'll have actually a guest on the Be Like Berl podcast that can talk about that, a young person that we're very excited about. But that's where the whole Be Like Berl podcast came from, was from the book, but from the idea of Berl went through all of this, and he found true joy at the end of the book. Him and his mama were so happy, and Jesus was with them. Hopefully when you read that end and you see them walking off and them talking about thanking God, you feel the Spirit in yourself when you're reading that. And to go from that sadness and that despair to finding Jesus in the end, and it was because of the people that Jesus put in Berl's life throughout the
It was because
story.
of the people, but it was also because of how Berl handled himself with Wade. I'll stand by that too, because he would not have had that same feeling walking away from Wade's interaction had he not.
Yeah, and
had
I mean
he
that
not loved like Jesus himself.
I mean that in a broad term.
Right.
The people involved. But the reason why I say the people that Jesus put in Berl's path was not only people that were nice to Berl, but they gave Berl an opportunity to reciprocate that love.
Right, exactly.
So, because of the people that Jesus put in Berl's path throughout the book,
agreed.
They were able to find that joy.
And their response to it, yes.
Correct.
Love it.
So, what else on the book? We have covered the book.
That's
6 vlogs.
That's it. Yeah,
6
that's
vlogs?
what I have for him, for Papa Joe. So by the time this will post, we'll have had several summer events, and we'll be planning the Be Like Berl podcast, which is hoping to come out late summer, early fall. The Be Like Berl podcast is going to let us talk with and interview young adults, teenagers, about ways that Jesus has worked in their lives through people, how people have been like Berl to young adults and these younger folks. Because we as older adults, you hear about their testimonies all the time and all their life experiences, but I don't think we as older adults give these young people sometimes enough credit, and we just want to hear their stories and hear what they see or how they see Jesus working through others, and give just a different maybe angle.
Yeah, we want to give you said a good point there that you can go online and podcasts and other things and see where adults have been through traumatic stuff.
Our age,
and we're so grateful for those.
Right,
but it's hard for young adults to find
and kids,
kids, and we say that as far as, of course, with parental permission, and they'll be with us. We'll be working with parents to be able to bring those kids to you and their stories to you, because we really believe that Jesus wants those stories to be told, and we just want to be able to provide a platform for them to do that. Because again, it's getting the mission of being like Berl, which at the end of the day is following Jesus out to the world, to the masses.
Yep. So, like Jim always says, go to berlsqueever.com. By the time you see this, there should be a contact me button or contact us button. And if you would like to be on the Be Like Berl podcast, you can contact us through the website, like all of our social medias.
Yeah. And of course, we want you to, if you hadn't got the book yet, you can go there to find out how to get the book. We're closer and closer to our second book being released. So we'll keep you guys informed on that. But yeah, let us know if you have, if you'd like to be on the podcast, if you have a story that you believe that the folks need to hear of how Jesus brought you through that by meeting people that were being like Berl, please, let us know. So
if you hear those crazy sounds, it is raining like mad outside right now. So.
Yes, it's kind of crazy. But That's just the devil trying to stop us, but we're not going to. Yes, so that's it for this book, and we at the end of the book also there's a page of questions that Rachel's put together that you can actually read with your child to help you get even more in depth with learning about Berl and how to be like that. It's really great, and
if your book didn't come with those, you can reach out to us, and we have a sticker that we can add to your book.
Yeah, we can definitely add that to that, and we are excited that the book won the International Impact Book Award, so we're excited about that, and so. There's a lot of stuff going on, so we're excited. Yeah, we're happy with the way things are going.
So be in prayer about the podcast,
yes,
for
please.
sure.
We thank Jesus for every moment that we have that we can. If at the end of the day, when all this is done, if there's one kid that was able to find Jesus and build then it's all worth it. Everything that we've done.
We didn't go into this to get rich.
Nope, not at all.
Because we're failing miserably.
Oh yeah, but that is it for us. Unless you've got anything else.
Oh, click and subscribe. I don't speak the
click
lingo.
subscribe. Make sure that if you did get the book, go to Barnes & Noble and Amazon and leave us a review. Let us know how we did. And I think that's it for us here. So everybody remember to stay safe, follow Jesus, be like Berl. God bless. See you guys.